Okay guys, got a little treat today. I'm going to play Leblanc, AP mid. Probably my favorite champ to play mid. I mean, it's between that and Cassidon. It's going to be obviously Summoner's Rift, so enjoy. A couple of things I want to talk about while it's loading. Leblanc's innate ability, it's like mirror image. If you get down below a certain percent of health, what it does is it creates like a decoy. The decoy doesn't, it'll attack, it'll auto attack, but it doesn't do any damage. And it just gives you the ability to get away, especially if you have your W, which I'll talk about later, that'll shoot you away. It gives you the ability to escape. One thing I didn't talk about in this video, which I should have, I'm going back and making a note now, is a good escape mechanism is if you hit your W and you have your R up, it duplicates the second attack, or the first attack, so you can basically flash twice away from enemies, and it's pretty much, it's just devastating, so it's a really good move to use. I want to talk a little bit about the build real quick I use for her. I use Sorcerer's Boots, I believe it's Rabadon's Deathcap, and Rod of Ages. That's the first three I get, and I rush for those. And then I bring in Crystal Scepter later for a little bit of CC, CC crowd control, because it slows every time you hit someone with a spell. So very advantageous, and it gives you a little bit of health. And the reason I use those items is because the stacking of the ability power on Leblanc is not that high. It might be at 0.4 or something like that, so it's a little bit more advantageous to actually build a little bit more health with her, because the ratios just work out a little bit better. You can take a little bit more damage, and the base damage from her attacks is strong, not so much the ability power stack. Okay guys, just wanted to show you a little bit of how to play Leblanc if you want to play her like me. First things first, you always want to unlock her Q, Summoner's Rift, Dominion, it doesn't matter. Low mana cost plus high damage equals you unlock it first. To talk about some of her other attacks though, her W is called Distortion, and what it does, it shoots you obviously anywhere in the circle, and then it deals damage, and if you activate the spell again within the next 3 seconds, you go back to your original spot you shot forward from. Another attack I wanted to talk about is her E. It's chains. Basically what you do is you throw it forward, you're going to do a base amount of damage, and then there's going to be chains that shackle her, or the opponent, and it'll slow their movement speed by 25%. And then if they stay connected for 2 seconds, it also makes them immobile for a second, so then you can jump on them. So that's also a very good attack. I unlock that at level 5 and keep that at level 1 till the end. Last but not least, we have our Mimic, which is our R attack. It's going to increase the damage dealt of the previous attack and deal that damage again. So basically, if you throw your Q out, it's going to be a Q times 10% of damage, or whatever spell you decide. Those two spells right there won't be enough alone, but your R is also going to mark them, and it's going to do more damage when it's released. So then you shoot forward and either do your W, well, more than likely do your W, and then that's going to be enough burst damage to take down pretty much any squishy. Ideally though, you want to hit them with your chains first, so you can immobilize them, and then you can spam those attacks. That's definitely a kill on any squishy or a tank at half health. Then you'll see that as we go through the progression of the video. One of the things you're going to see here that's a downside of Leblanc and Cassidon, but more Leblanc, is the fact that you're not able to really push turrets. Your base damage, your base attack damage never gets high, obviously, and you don't have another attack to compensate on a turret. So because we lost that player there that you just saw, it's going to heavily impact the game. I can get kills, but I won't be able to push turrets. And guys, if you're up 6-0 like I am right now, this is pretty much where you're squishy proof, and you really need to start playing like that. Anytime you see someone that's squishy, you need to spam those attacks and get that kill and pop out, because you have that ability to escape, just like with the Cassidon or something of that nature. If you have the ability to escape, you gotta dive in and get those kills. You're gonna see here, I lock up that Teemo. I've got that burst damage, so I just shoot in, get that kill, and then pop back out. It's a lot like playing Kassadin, but Leblanc's a little bit nicer because you can unlock that that flash at a much lower level. Right here, you're gonna see that kill from him staying in lane. I just gotta shoot forward. Doesn't get much easier than that, and you know, you pick up that other kill. Again, sitting at 8-0. Squishy's gotta go as soon as I see him, and you'll see as I play how you can really take down those squishies really easily. At this point, I have my needlessly large rod, so I'm pretty much ready to go. So at this point, anytime I get to see a chance, I'm going for that kill. And right here, you see on Teemo, it's that quick. Here you're gonna see me come in on a fight, Gangplank versus Gangplank, and again, I mean, the burst power that this champion has, you gotta take some risks. You gotta jump in, even if you know you're up against a heavy AD like Gangplank. You gotta shoot in there, and if you think you can get him, you gotta get him. And if you're wondering why you only see 4 people walking around with that Baron buff, we had someone quit out earlier in the match, and that's actually going to be really devastating for me because I can't push turrets as LeBlanc. If you're playing an AP carry, especially in mid, it's not really your job to push turrets. It's your job to get kills and make it so other people on your team can push turrets. If there was an epic fail to be had, this would be it. I'm kind of getting nervous because Gangplank was coming over, but I see he's about to retreat, so I throw my chains out on him. I mark him immediately, then I hit him with my R, and then shoot forward with that W. And that's really the sequence of events, ideally, that you want to toss on a champion. You're pretty much going to be able to take down any carry. Right here, you're just going to see how quickly a kill can come out of this. I've marked him twice. I shoot forward. Instead of shooting back to my original spot right here, I see those guys are going that way. I'm just going to go out this way, and I've got a free escape. Just the power of the champion in general is really high, especially with that tanky AP build that I was talking about. Here you're going to see me come in on the end of the fight here just to pick up this kill real quick on Blitzcrank. Yeah, it was a pretty sneaky attack on my part, but that's what you can do with this type of character. Here you're going to see once again, you know, Teemo definitely gets the jump on me. He uses his blind, but blind's not going to do anything because I don't use my base attack. So that's one thing you gotta be aware of is, you know, especially with Teemos, if you have spells, just go for them. I mean, if you're an AP carry, no harm, no foul if you get blinded. At this point of the game, you're gonna see the fact that we just can't push a turret to save our lives, but you know, it's gonna happen when you're 4v5. I think my first death is coming up here soon, and I'll show you what not to do as well. Here you're going to see me fall to my demise. You know, 17-0 is a good run, but I see a taunt go down, so I want to go in and get that Teemo. But the problem is Teemo has now picked up Frozen Heart. But the demise happens here. I get knocked up in the air, I get silenced, I get a whole lot of stuff that makes I can't teleport out of there. I can't get out of there with my W. And you really don't want to end up in that situation. Okay, so after I respawn there, I'm going to talk about that a little bit more real quick though. One of the things you want to make sure you do is you always want to stay behind your tank. You got to make sure you can get the kill if you're going to go in. If not, you got to stay behind your tank. It doesn't matter how much health you have, you can't take all that crowd control and get out alive. You got to make sure that they're hitting someone else and not you playing a character like this. So this is, you know, this is another guide built by anarchists. I'm carrying a different tag in here. This is the account I use to make these montages. Hit me up if you have any questions on it, and I'll be sure to get back to you as quick as I can. I do check my email as well as YouTube, as well as the website, so I'm very active. If you're checking out this video and you're curious about You Die By It All, the clan, the members, whatever the case may be, or you just want to see more guides put up by yours truly, anarchists, just go to www.youdieby.wordpress.com, and that's where we host our site right now. Come check us out, leave a comment, chat it up with us. And just a heads up, I'm going to be putting up a Darius guide here soon. I switched over. I decided to play a little AD. Not my best game ever, but it wasn't terrible, so keep looking for more guides coming out by.